So it's been a bit of a long day. I bottled my capsicum. That's a mead made with hot peppers. It's hot and spicy. It's my first time. I may have left the jalapenos in there just a little bit too long. It has kind of like this jalapeno flavor to it. We'll see how it is in a couple of months. But while I was bottling this, I was reminded a few months ago we got a comment on one of our videos. Now I'll just paraphrase. The guy was saying, something like, why do you make mead when you can just go buy it? I don't think it was really a legitimate question, like the tone of his post, it was kind of like a trollish, you know? But I admit it got to me, it bothered me a little bit. So let's answer that question. Why make mead when you can just buy it? So why make mead when you can buy it? Is it cheaper or better to buy it? I'm afraid I have to answer that question with a question. Why go fishing when you can just buy a fish? Why go hunting when you can just go buy a steak? Why paint when you can just buy a painting? Homebrewing is a hobby. It brings us joy. We're not really in this because it's cheaper or because it's easier or because it's better for some reason. We make mead because we enjoy making mead. To us, it's sort of an art form. A painter takes a canvas and some paints and a paintbrush and creates this beautiful diorama. And we take honey and fruits and spices and powders and turn it into this delicious mead. I don't really think the end product, I don't think the goal is part of our enjoyment here. It's the making process. It's like cooking a wonderful meal. People sit down and they eat your meal and they're like, wow, this is wonderful, this is amazing, you made this? It's just like the mead. You pass around a bottle of homemade mead, everyone's like, wow, this is amazing, this is incredible, you made this? It makes you feel good inside. It brings you joy, it brings you pleasure. It's the journey, not just the destination sometimes, that brings you all of this joy. And as far as being cheaper, I think you can ask just about any mead maker that there is, and everybody will answer unanimously that making your own mead is magnitudes more expensive than buying mead. I don't think anybody's into the homebrewing hobby for the money. Making beer is not cheaper than buying beer. Making mead is not cheaper than buying mead. Well, it might be, mead's kind of expensive. Making wine is not cheaper than buying wine. We don't do this because it's cheaper. We do this because it's fun, because it's awesome, because it's joyful. And there's also a variety. You can do anything with mead. You can make a basic mead with just honey, water, and yeast. You can make a basic fruity mead with apples or blackcurrants, or apples and blackcurrants. You can make a spicy mead, a capsicum with hot peppers. You can make a metheglin with garlic and cloves. You can make a cider mixing apples and honey together. You can make a braggot mixing beer and mead together. You can make a mead and wine mixed together. What is that? A piment. Is that what it's called? A piment? That's a mead and wine mixed together. Now, mead is still a very niche thing. Some of us have access to all kinds of mead, but some of us don't. And if you go to your local meadery or your local wine shop or liquor store, you may or may not find some mead, but chances are it's a very small selection. You won't have very many options. But make your own mead, and the options are infinite. You can make anything you can desire, anything you imagine, you can make in a mead, and it can be wonderful. Another reason to love mead making is the community. There's community for almost every hobby out there, and mead making is something that us mead makers we can come together and we can bond over mead making. Like in our Discord, we have members from all over the world. We have one from Italy, we have a member from Holland, we have members from England, all over America, and we all come together in this one place just to enjoy the fellowship with each other and talk about mead making. It's the hobby, and it's the community that brings us all together. So that's why we make mead, I think. Not because it's cheaper or better or different from buying it from the store, We make mead because the hobby of mead making brings us joy. Just like a fisherman fishes even though he can just go to HEB and buy a fish, fishing brings him joy. He's happy when he does that. Same with a mead maker. It brings us joy, and we're happy when we do it. Why do you make mead? Let us know in the comments. Is it just for the joy of it? Is it because you enjoy creating something delicious? Or is it just for the fun journey along the way?